Probably the fact that once you start doing the market research part of the job and you get into that end of it and you realize that is, an important part of the job so I can drive great roadmaps. Big part of that is customer interaction. You're going to be dealing with customers. And that's a big responsibility. You're now getting into the arena of a lot of bit of like what client success does. Keeping customers happy, engaged, using the product, and just overall the thing of the relationship. You also start in some ways, not on purpose and not directly, you have a little bit of salesmanship going on, right? When new things come out that you're going to tell your customers about, that you have, let's say, imagine on your advisory board, or you're having a meeting with someone that you decided is an important key customer. They're not on your advisory board, but you go meet them. All of this comes into play, and it's not a specific one thing that I learned from that, but what I overall did learn is there's a big difference between talking. Here's the big difference. If I'm talking to one of the employees of my company who's a subject matter expert and interviewing them about what they think about the product, what ideas you have, and a customer, that looks very different. You have to be much more sensitive when talking to a customer. They are the customer. They are hopefully a good partner. I prefer the word partner. Some of them act like partners, some don't. But there's a lot of relationship management. Some people might call it, the whole customer love part of the job. You have to keep them happy. There's certain things you can't say. There's certain things you just should not say. Don't say no. That's a big one. You have to learn how to say no without saying no. You have to learn how to say later, maybe, and do that in a way that is not going to piss them off. And here's the mistake I made. I said that the wrong way about 87 times. I had to, learn by example and try different forms of not now, later, maybe, no, sort of, not sure, never, right? Like so many permutations of and getting. And here's the fun part of it. A lot of times you don't necessarily, so here's the first mistake I made is I just basically would tell them, yeah, I think that's something that we could probably do next year. I would imagine, I would think, I would guess, blah, 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 whatever. Next year, meaning like I had no intention of doing it anytime soon. And next year in the real world means never, okay, at least in my world, okay? And you know what's amazing? The memory on my customers is fantastic. A year later, you know what they do? Where is it? And then they'd be pissed, so unhappy with me. Unbelievable. I'd be like, are you kidding me? That was like 9 months ago I told you that. The world is a completely different place now. The sky is green, okay? Asteroids are raining down. I mean, you expect me to worry about that? That's crazy that you think that that's still happening. So I learned, right? That's just one minor example, but learning how to say no or later the right way, like a big part of the art job. I think it's a big difference because that's how you keep customers happy. And the reality is you be honest with them, okay? I'm honest. When they say something and I'm not on board or I know that the ROI of that idea will never see the light of day, I know how to say that now. I know how to be honest with them so they don't get the idea that it will be done, okay? And here's an interesting kind of term or phraseology I recently came up with that I have not yet had the opportunity to put in practice. But instead of just saying on the roadmap, I'm now calling it the research roadmap that I want to try. Because I think that softens the perceived commitment that is implied when you say, I will consider that for the roadmap, or even if it's on the roadmap. See, we don't want to be locked in as product people. We know that, right? 6-month look backs always look different than, where you were 6 months ago. Things change. So I'm going to pilot that soon. And if any of you out there want to pilot that, feel free to use it. It's open source. Calling it a research roadmap. It's on our research roadmap, meaning that we're absolutely going to look into solutions for this problem. And that's all we're committing to, is that we will definitely put a lot of effort into researching it. I'm going to see how this goes. I'm very excited to try this out on real world customers. The problem is I came up with this only in my consulting world where I wasn't really dealing directly with the customers and setting their expectations. So I haven't had the opportunity yet, but I'm excited, very excited.